The less that the clinician has to do, the more that the computer can do, the better it's going to be for your practice, the quicker things can get turned around. Yes, we'll need a little paintbrush to be able to do a little bit of design here and there, but for us to just be able to fine tune is going to be the real answer to that.
Welcome to the Phil Klein Dental Podcast. Today we'll be discussing how 3D facial scanning and 3D printing can offer the clinician tremendous advantages to aid in the diagnosis, design, and fabrication of full-arch dentistry. We will also discuss how to best transition our practice into the world of digital dentistry. There's no question prices have come down. And according to our guest today, a dentist can equip an office with a full suite of digital technology for $25,000 or less. We will also discuss the future of digital dentistry and how AI will play a part in everything we do as clinicians. Our guest is Dr. Isaac Towell, who has an extensive history in the dental field and is a recipient of 2 coveted awards, the Pierre Fauchard Award for Outstanding Achievements in Dentistry and the Presidential Service Award. He is the founder of Advanced Implant Education and is a new product consultant for several dental companies. Dr. Towell continues to lecture and run hands-on workshops worldwide and enjoys his private practice in Brooklyn, New York. Before we get started, I would like to mention that Dr. Towell's webinar titled Digital Implantology, Advancements and New Techniques is now available as an on-demand webinar on vivalearning.com. It's a great webinar, and if you're interested in learning how technology plays a role in implant treatment, I highly recommend this webinar. Simply type in the search field on vivalearning.com, Towell, Tawil, and you'll see the webinar. Dr. Towell, it's great to have you back on the show.
Thanks. Pleasure to be back here.
So to begin, Dr. Towell, tell us how facial scanning has been a real game changer for you. And you're an implantologist, so obviously it's directly related to your implant work.
Until now, we've had some really nice apps, I would like to call them, to be able to capture the face in terms of 3 dimensions. Prior to that, the best that we had was just a 2D picture. So we'd take a nice 2D photo, and then we try to do a smile design. But I don't know about you, Phil. I don't live in a 2-dimensional world. We live in this 3-dimensional world. Maybe Austin is in 2 dimensions, but in New York, we still have 3 dimensions. When I get pickpocketed, I get all my pockets picked, not just the one plane. So
definitely
so
New Yorker.
So we have to watch for our patients in that same way. The best thing that has come along has been these 3D facial scanners. Some claim that they're not exactly 1-to-1 ratio, but I defy you to show me a 2-dimensional camera that's even remotely close to 1-to-1 ratio. So the fact that we're almost at 1-to-1 ratio is really remarkable, and we can do some amazing things. Let me give you an example of that. We can take someone who was edentulous, make a smile design for them, and be able to give them teeth very, very quickly. You can do a try-in, whether that be for digital dentures or whether it be for something on implants. I'll tell you a quick little story about a recent patient of mine.
Dr. Towell will be right back in a moment, but first, when it comes to digital workflow equipment, it's important to partner with companies that provide premium products with unparalleled service, all at an affordable price. That's why you should check out Shining 3D Dental, a company that offers a complete and integrated suite of high-quality and easy-to-use digital dental equipment. Their local offices are based in California and Florida, so you get in-time comprehensive support. In fact, Shining 3D Dental can furnish your office with an entire suite of digital equipment for under $27,000. This includes their Aoral Scan 3 wireless intraoral scanner, Metasmile 3D facial scanner, and the AccuFab 3D printer with its post-processing equipment. Plus, the Shining 3D Dental digital workflow solution includes cloud storage, synchronization, and software for consultation, analysis, and design. So whether you're taking your first step into digital dentistry or you're looking to add additional equipment, check out Shining 3D Dental's complete digital dental portfolio. To learn more, visit shinning3ddental.com.
We had a patient that we had treated for an upper fixed appliance, a screw-retained hybrid appliance, zirconia. He had a lower previously. Before that, he had a denture on the top, and he was looking to do these teeth same day or next day, which we did. We did that at Rural Dental Laboratories out in Cleveland, Ohio. We did a live surgery in front of a bunch of doctors. The surgery went great. Healing went great. And we made him his final teeth. About a year and a half later, he came in and he had problems with his lower right implant. We had not placed those implants, and it was clearly failing on the x-ray. Now, this lower hybrid design, it was a good design, but we had to now remake this whole thing because We had to, instead of losing one implant, we put two in its place, and now we had about 7 implants we had to capture. And he threw in a little caveat in there. He said, since we're doing this over, do you mind redoing the upper for me as well? I asked him why. He had always felt that his lip was covering too much of the teeth. Yeah, the dentures are so long, he didn't even think about the aesthetics of it, and we really didn't look at it. We were just so happy to give him fixed teeth, and we didn't know what he looked like prior. He barely showed about 1 millimeter or 2 of his upper teeth, which is common. He brought in this picture, and we actually posted this on our Facebook group, on the Chrome group on Facebook, and you can see his old picture, and you can see all his teeth. So what we did was we used his old scans for the top teeth, his new scans for the lower teeth. We used a mixture of some photogrammetry on the upper, some what we call grammetry, using an OptiSplint device on the lower so we can scan. And when in one sitting, we took impressions. We used our old impressions for the upper. We borrowed 3 millimeters from the lower, added 3 millimeters to the maxilla. And like that, we gave him back an extra 3 millimeters. And his face that day, when I saw him, he was elated. So happy that it took no time at all, because he lives out in Cleveland, Ohio. He flew into New York, took his impressions. Then I went back out to Cleveland to insert this for him as a favor. And it was my pleasure to. He's a great patient. And let me tell you that when he left, it was really remarkable, the difference in his face and his smile. And then his confidence just went way, 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 way up, because now he could see his teeth again. And we actually met up in Las Vegas last weekend. We were out the Serona World, DS World, and he was out there for just a random trip with his family. We met up, we had a drink, and his smile was ear to ear, which is wonderful. As a practicing clinician, it's one of the things you really want to see. Your patients are truly enjoying the teeth that they have. And you could do all this hard work and it could fail. And you're really happy when things are successful and they work in the right way. Utilizing this digital technology, we're able to utilize every little inch of that technology to give us the full scope and provide him with the ultimate treatment in just 2 visits, which is really remarkable.
Yeah, that's an amazing story and very gratifying without a doubt. And I'm glad you shared that with us. But in reality, with your expertise and your years of doing implants, and you're an evaluator for many manufacturers, you're exposed to all the newest gadgets, all the newest innovations in dental technologies, in digital workflow. But for the average dentist who's out there that wants to do the best dentistry, it's very complex for them in many ways to purchase, integrate, train, and utilize all these different technology tools, where they're not buying something they are just going to sit on the shelf and they won't use. So what recommendation can you give our audience for moving into these types of digital realms where they can utilize these incredible things like facial scanning? What is the best way to enter this world where you take kind of one step at a time and build your entire office utilizing these very, very beneficial technologies?
Well, the first thing, like anything else that we do when it comes to being an educated consumer, is to do our research. You want to look around, see what is talking to you, what's exciting to you. You'll look out and see intraoral scanners, which is the right intraoral scanner for you. The second thing is to look at a total solution. It's nice to be able to say, does the company that I'm about to work with, and I'm going to buy even one product for, have a good history? Number one, are they a big company? Are they going to fold over tomorrow, or are they going to be around for a while? And do they have all the different technology that I can upgrade to? Let's say I'm not ready to make a big purchase. Because back when I first started, to go into something like, and I'll use CEREC as the example, that world, that was $100,000 expense. That's a very big nut to crack. And when's your ROI going to actually come back to you? Nowadays, we can do a lot for less, which is what's important. The competition is out there. It's very fierce. A lot of these companies, with the competitiveness with each other, brought down the price. So we can become an educated consumer. But a lot of times you get what you pay for. So you look at it and you say, is it really worth it? Is that right? So you have to be able to go out and try the devices, utilize them, take some courses. Don't be afraid to just say, let me go and see a course that's out there utilizing this technology. Let me take advantage of that and try to practice on it on demos or on live patients. Something that is very easy to accomplish these days. There are training centers all over utilizing different technologies. Once you can grasp that and have the comfort level of and see that it is right for you, then you're becoming an educated consumer. Now you're going to be in the right spot and you'll start to utilize it right away. The worst thing that we can do is to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on products, and then they just become oversized paperweights for our office. Really want to be able to embrace the technology, utilize it, and see the return on your investments literally immediately. We don't want to wait a year, 2 years to see the return on investments. We don't buy impression material in our office anymore. We have, I shouldn't say that, very much impression material. The only time we use impression material is to do corrections. If something came out and we didn't like the way it was, it's a good structure. We want to copy it, send it back to the lab, and add a little bit of porcelain here or there. That's typically what we would do. Otherwise, we really have no need for impression material as a whole. Between desktop scanners that we have in the office, of which we have 2, all the intraoral scanners, the facial scanner, the CBCT, we can get everything that we need to be able to provide our patients with a seamless digital workflow for 98% of the cases.
That was well said. And it seems to me, practicing in your environment with your experience and knowledge and confidence with these digital tools, it must be a lot of fun to practice dentistry.
It is a lot of fun. It makes dentistry more exciting. When I first started, I didn't love dentistry. I'll be honest with you. My father being a clinician is part of the reason that I went into dentistry. So I did nothing more than just go into my father's business like a lot of my friends did.
We'll be right back with Dr. Talwa in a moment, and he's going to talk about how digital dentistry really got him excited about practicing dentistry. Very interesting stuff. But first, as dental professionals, we know that the right autoclave can enhance your patient flow and help build a more profitable dental practice. It's all about keeping things moving. Chamber autoclaves are great for reprocessing large loads, but sometimes you need a few handpieces fast, and you don't want to wait to fill a chamber. That's why a lot of dentists choose the Sycan Statum 5000 G4. While the look has changed over the years, inside, Statum still uses a reliable, innovative steam technology developed 30 years ago that continues to deliver instruments in some of the fastest times in the industry. It's one of the best-selling autoclaves in the world, and its reliability has made it the workhorse sterilizer in dental offices across the United States. To learn more about how Statum may be right for your practice, visit Sycan.com.
But once I got into dentistry, I started to see some excitement. There was excitement in endodontics, with rotary endodontics coming out, implantology, and then digital dentistry really hit the sweet spot for me because it took all my favorite things. The iPhones, Macs of the world, and computers of the world that I love to play with outside of my office are now being utilized inside my office. A lot of fun toys, a lot of interesting things. So the first extraoral scanner that I ever used was actually on a car. We were taking an old car apart, and we needed a certain size part. We actually used a scanner, an extra what we would call extraoral scanner. And we actually scanned the car. This wasn't me doing it. This was at a auto body shop, and I was blown away. I said, why don't we have that in dentistry? We have intraoral. Why don't we have extraoral? Before you could blink, there was 3 or 4 different models. This new one that we're using now, the MetaSmile from the Shine 3D, again, great extraoral facial scanner and extremely affordable, which is key. Because you could say, well, those toys are just for the hoity-toity upperclassmen, but no. This is now affordable for anyone who wants to go and purchase it, because for the price of one intraoral scanner, let's say a couple of years ago, I can get a facial scanner, desktop scanner, 3D printer, intraoral scanner, the works, the whole suite. And I mean, you can look around now, roughly around $25,000, and you have everything that you want at your disposal besides a mill, which I'm not certain that everyone needs to have a mill anymore these days. We'll see what's coming in the near future. Sounds like we may not need them as much, but for now, they're still commonplace in dentistry, and they'll be around, I know, for many more years. But it seems like we're switching over towards printed products, and hopefully for the better.
Yeah, as those printable resins get stronger and stronger and they get closer, they're not going to reach zirconia level, but as you said,
I wouldn't be surprised.
You never know, though.
We may get there. We may actually get some improvements. It's not so about how strong the substance necessarily needs to be. Sometimes the flexibility is just as important. A lot of fractures that we have from zirconia, because we don't have that flexibility. We don't have that flexorial strength. It has a point to break, and then it cracks and propagates, and it's game over from there.
Right.
At least these resins are repairable if need to be. And again, so fast to print, we can get them done in no time, having a backup in the patient's chart, or giving the patient 2 or 3 backups and saying, here you go, if it ever breaks, you have extras. The affordability of it. As we get older, things change. Our gingiva changes. We end up with more food traps on these full arch cases. It's so much nicer to just say, let's just rescan and just make another set. It can be done within a matter of a couple of hours. That's really where we need to be at. And I'm sure the printers are going to even get faster than what we have now. It's been really remarkable to watch the evolution of these 3D printers over the last 10 years. It's incredible how quickly they've embraced the technology, how quickly the resin materials have changed, and how many things are coming down the pipeline.
So, Dr. Towell, as we wrap up this podcast, tell us what you see in the future. Let's go 5 years ahead. What do you see as the major advancements in technology that will affect the way we practice dentistry?
2 letters, AI. And that's the big thing. The less that the clinician has to do, the more that the computer can do, the better it's going to be for your practice, the quicker things can get turned around. Yes, we'll need a little paintbrush to be able to do a little bit of design here and there, but for us to just be able to fine tune is going to be the real answer to that. As robotics enter dentistry, as more and more of these digital technologies enter, it's even more important for this AI technology so that we can have all this technology utilized appropriately, because my time is best served working on patients, not working in a laboratory where a lab technician is supposed to be involved. So as that AI gets better, there's less stress on the lab technician, and the clinician is able to utilize all of these features in a timely manner. Instead of having to wait 2 weeks for a crown to be made, maybe it can be done in a half an hour or so utilizing this AI technology.
Yeah, the more you talk, the more I think about how I got out of clinical dentistry way too early because I'm missing all the fun. Yeah, I'm doing these podcasts.
It is a lot of fun.
The podcasts are great. I get to look at the technology of microphones and sound devices and audio interfaces, but I'm missing out on all this great stuff. All right, well, Dr. Towell, as usual, fantastic discussion. We're looking forward to having you on several more podcasts going forward, as we discussed. Have a great evening, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
If you've been enjoying our podcast, we'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback by leaving a review on your favorite podcast platform, whether it's Spotify, Apple, Google, or any other platform you listen on. Leaving a review is a fantastic way to support us and help others discover our show. Thanks for listening. See you next time.